most reckless thing a school nurse ever did to a student. My best friend Clarky collapsed in the nurse's office during third period, hitting the floor hard while I stood frozen in shock. Call an ambulance, I shouted to Nurse Bradley, already reaching for my phone. She held up her hand. We need principal approval first. It's procedure. Clarky was unconscious, his breathing shallow. But he needs help now, I protested. He's fine, she said, barely glancing at him. Probably just dehydrated. Blood started trickling from his nose. Look, he's bleeding. Nurse Bradley finally walked over, dabbed the blood with a paper towel, and shrugged. Nosebleeds happen. Protocol is protocol. The principal has to approve all 911 calls to avoid unnecessary ambulance bills. Meanwhile, the thermometer literally read 39 degrees Celsius, and Clarky's nosebleed was getting worse. I pulled out my phone to call 911 myself, but Nurse Bradley snatched it away. No unauthorized calls during medical incidents, she said, locking it in her drawer. Fill out this emergency request form. The form wanted absurd details. Students' GPA, attendance record, parents' insurance information. My hands shook as I wrote while Clarky's breathing got shallower. 20 minutes had passed. I'm getting the principal, I said, grabbing the form. Sit down, she ordered. You can't leave during a medical incident. Then you call him. He's in a meeting. Can't be disturbed. Clarky started convulsing, his entire body going rigid and shaking. Foam mixed with blood came from his mouth. He's having a seizure, I screamed. It'll pass, she said, writing notes on her clipboard. Please, just call 911. She looked at me like I was insane. Stop yelling at me. I've been a nurse for 15 years. I know what I'm doing. Other students walked by the office window, their faces horrified. One tried to come in, but Bradley locked the door. Medical privacy, she announced. Clarky's skin felt like fire when I touched him. 30 minutes now. If he dies, it's murder, I said. That's a serious accusation, she replied coldly. I'll have to report your threatening behavior to the principal. She pulled out a different form, a disciplinary referral, and started filling it out with my name. You're writing me up while he's dying? She didn't even look up. Disrupting medical procedures is a suspendable offense. Clarky hadn't moved in 5 minutes. His breathing was barely visible. I tried the door, but she'd locked us in. Let me out! I'll get help myself. Leaving during a medical emergency violates safety protocols. Sit down or I'll call security. I banged on the window trying to get anyone's attention. A teacher walked by and I screamed for help, but Bradley stood up and closed the blinds. You're causing unnecessary panic, she said. Another 10 minutes. Clarky's skin had a blue tinge now. The nurse was still at her desk, typing something on her computer. What are you doing? I demanded. Documenting everything properly for liability reasons. She turned her screen so I could see she was writing that the student was resting comfortably and that another student was creating disruptions. I completely snapped and started screaming, help! Someone help! She's letting him die! Mr. Booth, the janitor, heard me and unlocked the door with his master key. He saw Clarky, unconscious, blue-lipped, covered in blood, and immediately called 911 on his cell. You can't do that, Bradley protested. You need authorization. Booth completely ignored her and shoved her away when she tried to take his cell. I kept saying thank you to him while he told me that everything would be okay. At the hospital, Clarky's mother collapsed when she saw the blood on my shirt. A doctor rushed past us into the trauma room where they had Clarky. Bacterial meningitis, I heard him say, and my legs went weak. We're doing everything we can, but the delay. Clarky's father was holding his head like everything was his fault. My phone buzzed, and when I saw what the text was, I titled my screen so Clarky's father could see. It was a video my friend had sent me, recorded during the last few seconds when the nurse was trying to stop Booth from calling 911. Clarky's father watched it once and started running. Get up, we're going to the school. But Clarky, his mother started. Clarky is in good hands, but that nurse is still there, doing God knows what to other kids. He called 911 on the way. I need police at the high school now. I have a video of a nurse keeping my son prisoner. We drove there with sirens behind us. Bradley was in her office when we arrived, bandaging some kid's knee. The cops walked straight in. Step away from the student. What? I'm the school nurse. You're the farthest thing from a nurse, Clarky's father said. Bradley backed against the wall in shock. This is crazy. I followed the school rules. The officer remained cold and pulled out handcuffs. You're under arrest. For what? For watching my best friend die for 40 minutes, I said, getting in her face. He has meningitis. His brain was being attacked while you filed paperwork. She started crying. I didn't know. Exactly. You didn't know. That's why we're supposed to call 911. We returned to the hospital, and 3 hours later, a doctor told Clarky's parents and me, he's okay now. You can go see him. I ran in as fast as I could. Clarky was awake, grinning weakly at me, and that same afternoon, Bradley was charged with criminal negligence.